What it do? What it do? What it do? And what it do? And what it do? How's it going? What it do? How's everybody doing today? I hope that things are doing well for most of you and shittily for some of you. You know who you are. You know who I'm hoping shittiness on. There's an active tornado within 2 miles of you. You might want to get underground or some shit. I think a tornado can swing a couple of miles pretty quickly. So you might want to get in the basement and not die sitting at your computer watching me. Or at your phone or whatever you're doing. Maybe you're on your phone in a shelter. In which case, that's cool. Oh, well. OG Kim. Dude, look at the jar my OG Kim came in. Is that not the coolest shit? Coolest jar of all, man. Should I watch Me or Game of Thrones? Why, is Game of Thrones out today? Does the new season start today? If so, I have to watch that shit with Ashley later. 16th of this month? Yeah. Cool. Hello, Dave. I'm sorry, Dave. I can't do that. Who will be the Game of Throneses? Never watched Game of Thrones? It's pretty good. I mean, I'm not usually a big fan of like shows. I prefer movies and shit. But I can appreciate good ones, and Game of Thrones is a pretty good one. I mean, whatever. Not to be a total hipster, but the books are better. But as I understand it now, we're kind of operating outside of the confines of the books, because the shit that we're seeing in these seasons has not been written yet. So holy shit, $50. $50. I give more, but I have to pay some asshole to remove a bunch of trees. Thank you, Mr. Naughty Priest. You saucy bastard, you. Yeah, even if you don't watch the show, I'd say at least pick up the books. They're pretty good. From what I've heard, that show seems to be a spectacle. Gore, nudity. There's there's more to it than that. There is that shit, and there's that shit in the book too. I mean, the book is like this kind of dark Western fantasy setting, so there's a lot of sex and blood and gore, but there's also a lot of political intrigue. That's really what the books are about, is the double dealing and double crossing and backroom dealing and all the craziness that goes on in these political exchanges. That's really what sets it apart from like Conan, which is another sex and gore spectacle. Game of Thrones is more about the personalities involved and the political maneuvering behind the scenes, and that's why it's good. Penis, penis, penis. Paul, admit that anti-natalism is logical. I mean, could you make a logical argument for anti-natalism? I'm sure you could. But that logic is all stymied by an assumed end game, which is that human beings are totally and utterly incapable of redeeming themselves at this point. And the only conscionable thing that we can do is to stop breeding, so that we stop inserting more people into this life that's very often filled with suffering and neglect and all of that shit. And I think that that premise is ultimately, as cynical as I am, I think that that premise is flawed. I think that human beings can be redeemable. I think that we have the capability, if not, you know, it may not be probable that we get there, but I think that we certainly have the capability to create a world where bringing a human being into it wouldn't be an act of cruelty. But, you know, that's kind of like, as I understand it, it's been a long time since I talked to Mendham about shit like this. He was the first big major proponent of anti-natalism that I ever ran into, and I remember listening to him and arguing with him at times during his live streams about the pervasiveness of the negativity that he perceives everywhere in his ideology. So he's a very negative, cynical, misanthropic person, and I don't think it's a mistake that a person that lives that way has the ideology that Gary has. So, the AS. The 24-hour stream, dude. Live resin. We just got legal weed in Nevada. I'm trying it for the first time. It smells like fresh plant, and the taste of the strain coats your mouth. Yeah. I don't know if live resin is. I mean, I've had resin before, as well as wax and like all the other kind of concentrated forms. I may not have had that type of resin. It's certainly not something that rosin. Rosin. It's oil. Cool. Will I watch Dunkirk? Probably. Have you ever talked about the Salty Paul song? Have I talked about it? I've sung it. I walk around humming it. It's lodged in my brain, as it seems to be everybody else's in the chat. It's just one of those songs, man. I like the Salty Paul song. Turn the frickin' frogs gay. You guys ever put Inside the Mouth of the Manatee special on Vimeo? Probably not on Vimeo. Eventually it'll hit DP on demand, so there's that. My girlfriend hates when I play the Salty Paul song. She doesn't like it. Turn the frickin' Paul's gay. Dude, pardon me while I sip some limeade. Limeade, the thinking man's lemonade. Where's Dinor? I think he's right there on the couch. Nope, he's laying over by his food dish, chilling. Have I ever watched back the Paul Has a Mental Breakdown vidya? The salty fighting game meltdown thing? Yeah, I've seen it. Not my proudest moment, but, you know. I'm lucky to be, you know, on a show where even your not proudest moments can become a meme. Yeah, I forgot my vape at TJ's house, dude. That's true. When and how are you going to propose to Ashley? I don't know yet. I haven't decided. You know, that day is still in the future. I've got some ideas, some possibilities, maybe. Yeah, dude, she's right behind me listening to everything I'm saying. Judging silently. No, she's got her headphones on. I think. Yep. She's headphoned up, dude. She ain't listening to me. Yeah, she's schlicking. TJ says his Highdeology streams are better because at least he interacts with the chat. I mean, that's kind of the point of this, isn't it? Yeah, she might be listening to the stream, though. That's true. Isn't that what we do here? Best Tool album? For me, it's Enema. I mean, that just like start to finish. Although Lateralis or whatever the fuck, pretty good too. Those two definitely are the core of the Tool anthology for me. Undertow's great. I mean, it's not a bad album. I just think it's, I don't know. I think that they came into their own on Enema and completed that polish on Lateralis. So those are the two that really stick out to me. The absurd hilarity of the backwards. I always called like the backwards Hadouken thing. That's just what I always called like those types of moves. You know, like a Hadouken is a quarter circle forward and a punch or kick, and a backwards Hadouken is a quarter circle back, you see. That's just terminology that I used with my friends growing up. Like all of us called it backwards Hadoukens. Like if you were trying to explain how to do a move to somebody, you'd say it's a backwards Hadouken and kick. How did you do that move? It's a backwards Hadouken, dude, with a kick. But apparently, outside of my crew of people, nobody called it a backwards Hadouken, dude. Oh yeah, we need to do the backwards Hadouken challenge. I heard of Sam Kinison? Of course I have. I kind of grew up watching Sam Kinison. His HBO specials and shit. Oh man. That is a refreshing sip of fucking limeade. My favorite flute player, Morgan Cox, dude. My friend Morgan plays the flute. He do. You ever worry about having a heart attack on a live stream? I don't really worry about it. I mean, I guess it's possible. I mean, I don't dislike lemonade, but limeade just has the edge, man. Or like lime better than lemon as a flavor, you know? Do you have to pay to be on the DP Discord? No. It's free for everybody. Just click on, you know, go to discord.gg/DP, I think. If I'm not mistaken. Do you like any RTSs? If so, which ones? I played a lot of StarCraft back in the day. I played a lot of Warcraft 3. I mean, those are... StarCraft 2 I played for a long time, so... I guess those would be the... I'm not a huge RTS guy, but I like them. There was one, fuck, I think it was an Age of Empires reskin or something. It was like a Star Wars RTS. Am I remembering this right? Yeah, because you could play as the Gungans. It was released after Episode 1. Or Episode 2 or whatever. And it was like, what was that shit? Fuck. Too tired for a witty comment, but here. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds, that's what it was. That was a pretty dope one. I liked it. I played the shit out of that game. That was one of those games that I just liked, firing up a game and putting a bunch of hard AIs, you know, and just trying to win. Yeah, dude, I never got into Command and Conquer all that much. I don't know. I was kind of sucked into Diablo and StarCraft. Like, I got sucked into Blizzard as a PC gaming guy. And there was a long stretch of time where that's like all I wanted to play was Blizzard games. I guess it's kind of still that way for me. I mean, I play a lot of Blizzard games still to this day. They're just good. I don't know. There's just a polish to them, but it kind of caused me to miss some of the 90s goodness. No, I've never played RuneScape. I have too much self-respect. And I'm a fat, homeless-looking stoner, but I've got way too much self-respect to waste my time playing fucking RuneScape, dude. What's in the bowl? We have OG Kim today. Yeah, OG Kim. That's in the bowl. Dude, I never played the Soggy Cracker or the Cracker Jack, as it was also known. Does Ashley ever get jealous when you have flirtatious interactions with the guests? I don't believe so, no. Typically, she just agrees with me. First time watching Highdeology while high. There you go, dude. Now you're on the level. Now you're on the plane. The only way, like, if I got with Mercedes or something, the only way Ashley would be jealous is if I neglected to bring her along, which I wouldn't, because why would I? Mercedes is, I don't know if she'd be my first choice amongst, not to denigrate Mercedes, but amongst the lady guests, she may not be the top. Oh, yeah, her body of work is impossible to argue with, you know. When are we getting Space Race on the Netflix? Paul wants that grapefruiting. Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, that would be... I mean, that's the pinnacle, right? Either her or... you know, the fat black feminist chick. One of those two. Definitely. This is how you eat a popsicle. Man, that's my favorite shit. I wish I could just sprinkle... In fact, I think I'm going to. Maybe I'll just sprinkle that video in. every once in a while. Just name it something else in the playlist, you know? Like Josh Fierstein or whatever. And then Ben clicks it. He's like, oh, let's hear from Josh Fierstein. This is how you eat a popsicle. Yeah, Josh is not dead, man. Ryby has some luscious lips. Bet them lips are juicy. Oh, dude, that's creepy. Would you have a Big Mac with Don Keene? Sure. Why not? If that's all that was involved, was just sitting across the table from each other and enjoying a Big Mac and a conversation, there are a few people that I wouldn't do that with. Her husband is one of them. I don't think I could get down a Big Mac sitting across from Brett Keane. I honestly don't think I could take a bite of it and enjoy it in the least. I genuinely think I'd just fucking be too sick to eat watching him gum that big fucking burger, dude. At least Dorn's got some choppers in her head, you know? What about chicken nuggets at Denny's? Yeah, sure. Why not, dude? Denny's, you know what I mean? For late night fucking diner style greasy spoon food, Denny's is okay. I've gone to Denny's on many a late night when there was nothing else open and left with a belly full of greasy food. And what more can you ask of a late night spot than that? You know what I mean? So yeah, why not? I'd eat some. I mean, I don't think they have chicken nuggets at Denny's. I think they have like chicken strips, and that's a whole different thing, man. You know, a strip is better than a nugget. Yeah, dude, grub for the road, late night shit. You want to go sit down somewhere and get a meal or whatever, Denny's is always there. And it's always on the low end of mediocre, and it's always predictably meh, but it's there, it's sustenance, it's food. Yeah, strips of the money meat, exactly. Nuggets are all that extra shit, chicken assholes and lips and foreskins and shit. All that shit gets thrown in the nuggets, but them strips, that's just breast meat. That's just strips of meat, man. Jack in the Box is the king of late night eating. I mean, that's true too, but that's a different thing. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can go roll through a Jack in the Box drive-through, you know, any time of night, and you're gonna get the same stuff. You know, the low end of mediocre, greasy, unhealthy, late night kind of food. The munchie meal, you know what, dude? I got it one time. I'm gonna be real with you. I got the munchie meal one time back when I was in California, and I was kind of like disappointed. It was floppy, and like the fries, because they're all packed in there with whatever little sandwich munchy thing that you get, they absorb a lot of that fucking moisture that comes off of the sandwich, and they got all floppy. Dude, I only got it one time, and that's it. Is what you eat when you're 3 pegs above suicidal. Yeah, that's probably why I've eaten there so many times in my life. That's about where I'd put myself. Jack in the Box is the shit end of diuretic discharge. I mean, I don't know about that. Uh, 39 by design. I mean, you guys can't hear it, but I'll give it a listen. It's modern goth. 39 by design. Drab majesty. Let me skip ahead a little. They've got that fucking, like, Depeche Mode fucking... The lead singer kind of sounds like Tears for Fears. Kind of sounds like the singer from Tears for Fears. I kind of like it, though. I'm gonna add this to my watch later playlist here, so I remember to check it out. Rim TJ? No, dude. Did you see the duty challenge? Did you see the duty challenge? The duty stain challenge, yeah. Did you see it? If you didn't, I'd go look up that meme. I don't remember what show it happened on. We do too many goddamn shows for me to remember show numbers and shit, but I'm sure if you go to the DP Wiki, you'll find the duty stain challenge at least mentioned somewhere. And it happened live on the show. And that, dude, any tiny minute chance TJ ever had of getting rimmed went away after the duty stain challenge. Okay? His ass was really shitty. Real shitty. Yo, do what it do. The title has nothing to do with the stream. I've been scammed. Yeah, no, it does, dude. This is the What It Do Chronicles. How does Chelsea deal? From what I understand, I think TJ's talked about this. Like, Chelsea helped with TJ's hygienics. Like, when Chelsea came in, she was like, oh, hell no. And she enforced a minimum standard of hygiene on TJ. See? Yeah. Sometimes a man is, you know, like a rough rock, and he needs a woman to polish him into a smooth river stone. You see, some of that Indian wisdom. A man is like a rough rock, and a woman is like the river. Okay? She takes that rough edge off of that rock and polishes it smooth. You see? In TJ's case, it's a turd. And it polishes it into a more manageable, smaller turd. A rough turd. Yeah, he's one of those turds that hurts when it comes out. You know what I mean? The pokey turd. The ouchy turd. He's one of those. But she, with her loveliness, polishes him into an easily launched turd. One of those ones that comes out and then you look back in the toilet and you're like, what the fuck? Where did all that come from? It felt like I just barely pooped. He's one of those because of Chelsea. You see? Dude, I used to get pokey turds when I was a teenager a lot because, like, I had this thing for sunflowers, right? Or sunflower seeds. And it started off like it was an obsession, kind of. Like, I wouldn't feel right if I didn't, like, have a moment in that day where I could sit down and eat sunflower seeds. But it kind of progressed because I got these seeds, like, there used to be these bags of seeds when I was a kid, and they stopped making them. But they had different flavors. They still have these different flavors of sunflowers. And the ones that I liked were like salsa flavored. They were like spicy, you know, like... And I started to notice when I put them in my mouth that, like, the whole shell just kind of tasted good. And so for a while there, I was just eating sunflower seeds, shell and all. And they come out, you know what I mean, pokey as fuck in your turds, dude. That's not good. Yeah, sphincter splinters, dude. Did Chelsea plant a spider in TJ's ear? I don't know. I mean, maybe she threatened him. She was like, look, I'm gonna plant a spider in your fucking ear. When's the last time I took a really satisfying dump? I think it was probably back when I was visiting my mom, because, like, the food game there is very meat heavy, you know what I mean? So those tend to be the most satisfying poops for me, is the post hamburger enchilada fucking, you know what I mean, tri-tip. She made these fucking stuffed jalapenos. I can't even think of all the shit that was in them. They were like stuffed chicken thighs, and the chicken thigh was stuffed with a jalapeno that was stuffed with cheese, and the whole thing was wrapped in bacon. So she took a chicken thigh, cut it open, put a stuffed jalapeno in it, and then wrapped the whole thing in bacon, and then threw that on the grill. So, you know what I mean, like that type of food. See, dude, like, I used to be, like Morgan says, when you just unload like 3 days worth of shit because you were camping and you didn't want to shit in a campground bathroom. Like, back in the day, that would have been a possibility for me, but these days, dude, and you know what did it? I had my gallbladder removed. I had, like, gallstones, and so they had to remove my whole gallbladder. And ever since I had that, dude, the poops have to happen. Poops happen when they happen, and, you know, like, sometimes they're fine, but every once, like, at least 2 or 3 times a week, I'll get that 5-alarm shit that's like, okay, you have 15 or 20 minutes to find a fucking toilet. I'm telling you, dude. Pickle flavored French fries? Fuck off. Pickles are gross. Yeah. Do you believe Vadim? Dude, I remain skeptical. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think it matters, honestly. And, like, that's the thing. That's, for me, that was a good story. It wasn't a good story in the way that he wanted it to be, but it still caused a lot of laughs, and whether it's true or not doesn't matter to me in the end. That's how I think about stories, though. Like, a good fish story is a story that I'm willing to sit and listen to a bullshit story, if it's told well, or if it turns into something that's hilarious, which, you know, Vadim's story was one of those, and I don't really care. Maybe it did happen. I don't know. I'm skeptical, but ultimately I don't give a shit. No, I didn't get to keep my gallbladder. The dude, the surgeon actually asked if I wanted to see it when I woke up, and I was nauseous as fuck from all the fucking painkiller and just waking up from the fucking shit, and I was like, hell no, just no. I'm like, alright. How much weight have I lost? I've lost a little over 60 pounds since I started losing weight. I've probably gained a little bit of weight in the last couple of weeks, mostly due to being home to visit my family and eating my mom's cooking every day, 24 hours a day, for several days straight. The only time we ate down there that it wasn't my mom's cooking was at Sal's, my favorite Mexican joint in town. And that's just legit ass, greasy ass, good ass Mexican food. So I probably put on a few, but I'm doing okay. Yeah, I feel a lot better at this weight. I mean, physically. I feel a lot better physically. Mentally, that's debatable. My mental illness is cyclical, and it goes through peaks and valleys. It always has. And it's been at a peak for a while now. I mean, these peaks can last. So I've been really struggling with that shit on that end in the last 3 weeks, month or so. Do I use food as comfort? Oh, hell yeah. I mean, you know, the type of food that I grew up eating, that kind of like home-cooked, hearty-ass food, there's no way that a depressive isn't going to start associating food with comfort in a situation like that. So yeah, man, when I get really depressed, my mind almost immediately goes to food. Stuff your face with this, go get that, go get this, go eat more of that. And it's hard to regulate when I'm really bad. The lighter isn't a fidget spinner. I've done this with lighters for a long time. Since way before there were fidget spinners. Fidget lighter. That's why these are objectively, like, Bics are objectively better, because these other fucking whack, I don't even think I have one over here. You know, the ones, like the fucking non-smooth ones, you can't do this shit with them. Like a Bic, you can just play with it. Yeah, dude. Yeah, people used to buy pet rocks. That is true. A fidget spinner is cooler than a pet rock. You gotta give that to the people. I grow a lot of my own fruits and vegetables. That's really cool. That is something, honestly, that is a long-term goal of mine. I've always wanted... I don't want a big house. Before I left my marriage, I had a big house. And I felt like... I mean, it wasn't huge. It wasn't like a mansion or anything. But it was a large house. And... I don't need that. I want like a small piece of land, you know, with a little house and room for like a subsistence garden where I can grow seasonal shit. I think I would really enjoy that. You know what I mean? It's not ever really been... I mean, my mom has a little garden now and has for a number of years, but... And we used to garden when I was a kid. That's probably where I picked up the kind of like... I like seeing a plant through that life cycle, and I like doing things for the plant to make its fruit better. And you know, I'd grow tomatoes and jalapenos. Dude, I'd love to have like a little pepper garden. That would be awesome. You grow giant pumpkins as a hobby? That's kind of cool. You got a long way to go. You kind of reminded me to keep up the diet and workouts. Cool, man. Well, good job on the 20-pound loss, man. That's significant. I mean, you just got to keep going. Keep on keeping on, man. How big can my beard grow? So, I don't think that my beard will ever get much longer than it is now. Like maybe another couple of inches will add on with time if I choose not to trim it, which I'm actually thinking about trimming it back. It's about time anyway. It's been since right before. No, I think maybe Ashley trimmed it for me one time here. So but it's been a number of months since I've trimmed it back. It's about time. You can kind of see what happens to my beard when I don't trim it. I wish I didn't have this black shirt on. There you go. I'll just move the skin. So you can see kind of against my skin, when my beard gets a certain length, it gets less thick as it gets past a certain length. And it gets kind of wispy, so you can kind of see through it. And that's, I think, just a reflection of just whatever the natural length of the beard is. Like, I think when it starts getting like that, that's about where your beard needs. Now, some guys keep that type of shit, that wispiness. Like, I've seen dudes with beards like mine that are longer than mine, but the last 2 to 3 inches of the beard are this wispy, see-through, scraggly, snaggly shit. So, you know, I'd rather just I just want to do my own fucking beard thing, dude. I don't want that shit. I don't want that wispy shit. Ever had long hair? Yeah, I had long hair when I was a little kid. My mom didn't cut my hair for like the first 4 years of my life or some shit. So I had really long hair then. I've alternately had long hair a couple of times in the past. Most recently, like, that my hair's been as long as it is now, I was probably in my early 20s, 22. I've never had hair like down beyond my shoulder blades and shit. I'm probably encroaching on, well, I mean, since I was a kid, since I was really little. I love you on DP. I don't always agree with you, but I love your commentary. Thanks for making my work days interesting. Well, thank you, my friend. I really like your Cinema for Cynics channel. What's your favorite films? Thoughts on Ex Machina? Also, have you tried Doomfist? My favorite film, I mean, I hate having to categorize that shit, but I guess my favorite film is Aliens, the sequel to Alien. It's a strange choice, but for me, it packs pretty much everything I like about movies into one little neat package. And it's got one of the best scripts ever written. It's got some of the best practical effects that you'll ever see used in a film ever. And start to finish, it's just the most enjoyable movie I've ever seen. I have not tried out Doomfist yet, and I don't know about Ex Machina. I mean, I think there's a movie called Ex Machina, but I don't believe I've seen it. Yeah, I haven't seen it. A young programmer, so maybe I have seen this. Well, I don't know. I'd have to watch it again to give you any thoughts. It may be one of those movies that I flipped through, you know, a couple of years ago on Netflix or some shit. You like Mastodon? Me too. I like Mastodon. It's one of your favorite movies of all time? Cool. Well, then I'll check it out. It's got like a 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb. What's the Rotten Tomatoes score? It's got a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. That, hold on, is that a, wow. That's pretty cool. All right. Well, I'll definitely check it out. I don't have a turntable set up, no. I don't know that I'm gonna. I didn't have a huge collection of vinyl shit to begin with, and I don't know that I am gonna ever want to start collecting that shit again. So I don't know. We'll see. I'd like to get one at some point, but it's one of those wants, not needs. How often are you playing devil's advocate on DP on purpose, and how often is just you? I mean, doing that stupid devil's advocacy thing is me. I do that in my personal life. It's just a personality quirk of mine. I mean, really, at the base of it, it's a way to foment conversation. I like doing it in conversations just to get people talking and pissed off and rattled a little bit. So I'd say it's all pretty close to me, you know. There's a performance awareness when I'm on the show, but that exists to an extent, I guess, here too. Bullshit, you're always the group thinker. Okay. I'm the group thinker that wants the nukes to fly and is a globalist and wants to see borders dissolved and wants to see money replaced with intellectual currency. Yeah, I'm the group thinker. I'm never the outlier. I'm never the guy talking weird shit on the show. Thank you, Jimmy, for the $2. Not Paul. Never Paul. Just finished watching DP episode 23, The End of Brett Keane, classic Manatee. Yeah. Those are fun to go back and watch, man. Because, you know, I don't think anybody knew at the time that the Manatee was going to become what he became for the show. It was just us goofing on Brett, you know. Ever thought of waxing the stash into a curly 1800s villain deal? No. Yeah, the individuals and the situations haven't become, you know, like full-blown memes yet. You know, nobody was really aware of them, so they're just flowing like fucking rain out of Brett in those early episodes. Sat there, sitting over there. Who proofreads your cinema channel content? Love the channel. Some of them I just proofread myself, and a couple of them TJ has helped me take a look at. I like writing with TJ, so having him give my scripts the once over before I do them is something that I like doing. He's been writing scripted short form content for a lot longer than I have, so his instincts are better. And he's found some times where he's trimmed, you know, good example is my Dark Crystal review. He trimmed a lot out of that, and at first I looked at it and I was like, man, you know, that's. But after reading the two versions side by side, he was absolutely right. There was just a long point there of information that didn't really add to any. It didn't even add. It didn't add to the opinion-based version of the. It didn't add to the opinion-based nature of the review. It didn't really inform people of anything that they couldn't get by just watching the film. And cutting it out made it better. Made the whole piece flow better, you know. So I'm developing my instincts for that. I'm getting better as a writer at this type of content. But yeah, TJ's the guy that I kind of collaborate with on it. Love your channel and Cinema for Cynics. You're truly what I aspire to be in a YouTube. Oh, that's very nice, man. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I'm having fun with it. I like doing it, so I hope that, you know, a lot of people say like, oh man, Paul, you're too fucking drab in these videos. And I'm just like, I can't do that fake excitement, fake positivity shit. I mean, I guess I could, but I'd hate myself for doing it. You know, one of the reasons why we chose Cinema for Cynics for the channel was because that's the perspective that I go into movies with. I go into the movies as a cynic. I go in looking for things that are wrong. Looking for things that don't rub me the right way. I want to know what doesn't work about a movie before I know what does. That's kind of the angle from which I attack my reviews. So, you know, that doesn't really make sense with it. Hey guys, it's Paul Zigo back here on Cinema for Cynics, taking a cynical look at the movies. Hey, I just watched Batman vs. Superman, and whoa, buddy, before I get started here, though, check out my Patreon. I can't muster that. Gal Gadot, she has that athletic booty. I will admit, I like a bigger booty. But I can appreciate that, you know, toned athletic booty. What's up, guys? It's Peaches here for Cinema for Cynics. Yeah, dude, Jeremy Johns, the neckbeard edition. Am I CinemaSins level nitpicking? No. I'm actually pretty forgiving with films. It's one of the reasons, and you'll find out more about that when I make a video, but it's one of the reasons why I don't do an out of 5 rating system or an out of 10 or whatever. Why I just go with watch it or don't. Because I'm very forgiving with movies. I like that movies exist. Out the gate, a movie has already got a point with me because it exists. I like that somebody spent their time making it. And even on movies that I really dislike, I appreciate their existence for giving me something to look at and critique. So I'm a pretty forgiving guy with movies. There are movies that, you know, it's why the out of star rating system just doesn't work for me. I can't categorize movies that way. I would need some ultimate thing to compare them all to. I would need just this large base of 10s, and I don't know if I've ever seen a movie that's a perfect 10. I don't know that a perfect 10 is attainable. It's just confusing to do this star rating thing for me. It never really told me much. I mean, I've seen movies that have very low aggregate ratings that I've had a whole lot of fun with and I think are great movies. And I've seen movies that have these super high fucking 90% and 4 out of 5 stars and yeah, 4.5, 5 stars, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, go see it now. And gone to those movies and been horribly disappointed by them. You know what I mean? And I don't want to add to that confusion. Point blank. I'd rather just, you know, what you're coming to these short form review guys for, me, Jeremy Johns, whoever the fuck you're watching, Red Letter Media, fucking Nostalgia Critic, and Cinemassacre, and all these people that are doing these short form reviews. It's a big pool of people, all of them more popular than me. But you're coming for somebody's opinion. You want to know what this person's opinion is of the film. My opinion isn't categorizable into fucking star ratings. I don't know how to do that. It just doesn't make sense to me, and it's confusing. So, I'd rather just tell you whether or not I think it's worth your time to watch it or not. I love Red Letter. All the people that I mentioned there have merits as movie reviewers. I'm not talking shit, nor am I looking to do exactly what it is that they do. You know, I want to try and provide my own spin on it, do my own thing with my own channel. And, you know. I don't get excited for movies like Valerian, because the hype train so often just kind of goes off the rails when you go see a movie like that. Maybe it'll be a great movie. I will more than likely go see it. Probably on release day and do a review of it if I can swing it. But I don't know how much how much hope I hold out for that being a good movie. No more movie talk. Boo. Have you ever seen the new Alien movie, Alien Covenant? Yeah, I reviewed it on my channel, my friend. You can go to Cinema for Cynics and see all the thoughts that I have about that film. Boo, drift. Yeah, boo to you, you bastard. Cinema for sour skittles indeed. Thoughts on method acting? I think when it works, it works. I think that people, some of the finest, like Daniel Day-Lewis is a method actor. And it probably leads to some pretty crazy moments on set when you're acting with Daniel Day-Lewis. But the performance that he gives is pretty unquestionably perfect. So, in his case, it works. Then you've got the other end of the spectrum with Jared Leto, method acting as the Joker for Suicide Squad, which was just retarded and led to a horrible, hammy, corny, shitty performance. So really, it's less about the tool and more about who's using it. I don't think that most actors need to be method actors. I think that those that do it and do it well should continue to do it. I never did. I was never a method actor. I have to interact with people normally when I'm on a show. I just have to. Like all of the ensemble casts that I've been part of, if I can't interact with those people as normal human beings and can't develop some level of camaraderie with them, then I don't want to be around them. Jared Leto is a good actor. I agree. Well, I mean, he has been good in quite a few things, but his performance in Suicide Squad was terrible, and everybody, you know, on the cast was put off by his weird fucking insistence on pretending that he was the real Joker, sending them fucking rat corpses and shit. What a dumb fuck.
Man, he was just trying to get into character. You don't understand.
Oh yeah, man. He needed to send rat bodies to people to get into character, and it really led to a great performance too. His Joker just blew my fucking mind. Well, of course, but Daniel Day-Lewis, see, like, you're not just bestowed the ability to have an acting career where you can be incredibly picky about the roles that you take. There's a reason that Daniel Day-Lewis gets to be that way. And it's because he's an incredible actor. It's not the inverse. And any of the movies that you talk about, like, take There Will Be Blood. Let's look at that as a Daniel Day-Lewis vehicle. Okay? If his performance in that film is shit, or off, or it doesn't work, or his chemistry with the other actors is off, if any aspect of his performance as a professional actor is off, that movie falls apart at the seams. It can't exist. Daniel Plainview has to be what he is from start to finish. And I don't know many actors that could have done it better than Daniel Day-Lewis to carry that movie. Without his performance, that movie is slow and plodding and ponderous, and without him as the driving force, and that's what the movie is about. It's him. It's Daniel Plainview. So, and the ensemble cast is fucking amazing in that film too. I'm not trying to denigrate them, but I'm just saying if that central character doesn't work, that film falls apart at the seams. I don't know if he's the greatest actor of all time, but he's on the list. What's up, baby?
Maybe some Mac leftovers.
Mac?
Yeah.
From last night's Mac, dude? I mean, if I had to do like a quick pick for the greatest actor of all time, Charlie Chaplin would probably top the list. He was just an absolute revelation and changed everything about the way we perceive performance. He's a foundational actor. So, Tom Cruise, yeah, dude. Marlon Brando is another foundational actor. Also a guy that put out a lot of bullshit because as he got older and more solidified as one of the greatest actors of all time, he became convinced that he didn't need to put in effort to be an actor. That he just was a performance, and he was wrong. In his older age, Brando put out a bunch of bullshit. But Brando in Streetcar Named Desire, that's a tour de force performance. Another one, James Dean in Giant and Rebel Without a Cause. I mean, that's a fucking masterclass actor. Brad Dourif, I like Brad Dourif. Dinor. What? The main character from Clockwork Orange. What is his name again? I'm brain farting his name. Well, whatever. Somebody in the chat will know it. I know Alex DeLarge is his name in the Malcolm. Thank you. Malcolm McDowell. Hey, get down. Go on about your business. Shoo. Go. Best directors. My favorite director of all time, well, maybe not of all time, but currently living, is Paul Thomas Anderson. Scorsese's high up there on my list, for different reasons. Man Bun, yeah, dude. Man Bun 2. Yeah, that'll never be seen. Man Bun 2 is the lost sequel that'll never be seen. It's like Cheetah Man 2, you know? There are rumors of it existing, but does your cock taste or smell like bacon? You've asked like 15 fucking times, dude. I don't think my dick tastes or smells anything like bacon. If it did, I probably would have gotten a lot more blowjobs growing up and in my adult years. I hope that clears it up for you, because if you ask about my fucking dick smelling like bacon again, I'm gonna ban you out of here with my big bacony smelling dick. So please shut your fucking hole about my dick smelling like bacon. That's a better warning than most people get, you dumb fuck. My God, dude. This kid's just committed to that dumb fucking question. Oh. I've done community theater. So, yeah, sure, why not? Live theater is fun, even on a small scale. It's just time intensive, and that's always been the problem for me in my adult years. Is I've always had a gig that was way too time consuming for me to ever consider giving the time to a fucking show. The only time I was ever able to do it was when I was working at Starbucks, and that's just because I had such an ocean of goodwill with that company that when I asked them if I could go down to like part-time to do 2 or 3 shows, they were willing to do it. My favorite playwright, I mean, very pretentious answer, but it's Shakespeare. I've had more fun and I've learned more from reading Shakespeare than any other playwright. What is Ashley playing? And she's playing Blade and Soul. Twelfth Night is amazing. I played Toby Belch in Twelfth Night, one of my favorite roles of all time. One of my favorite, just the group of people that I had in the cast with me were just fucking great. It was just a great show. Is she playing a lolly in Blade and Soul? Dude, how did you guess? How did you guess? She plays the little furry things with the I don't know, toddlers with fox ears and tails. Were you ever booed on stage during a live play? Not during, but I got booed after a show one time. Well, I've got the fucking poster for it. I was in this show. Can you guys see it? That's pretty dark over there, but it's Anna in the Tropics. And in that show, I played a guy named Cheche, who was the half-brother of this cigar shop owner who had been he was raised in America, not cigar shop, cigar factory. He was raised in America, and his brother brings him to Cuba. His half-brother brings him to Cuba, and he's the villain of the show. Towards the end of the show, I try and rape my half-niece, my brother's daughter. I developed this obsession with her over the course of the movie. She's this, you know, she's in the show supposed to be like this 17-year-old just on the cusp of adulthood, blah blah blah. It's kind of a Lolita thing. And I try and rape her. And her family, and she was a Hispanic girl. I was the only non-Hispanic on the cast. Everybody else in the show is Hispanic. Cheche is supposed to be more of a white dude. So that's... Her family's huge. And at the end, when I came out, their whole fucking family booed. And I had to have like a treatise. Like when I walked out, like when you walk out from the show, there was a place where your family could come and greet you. And when her family was there, and when I walked out to see my family, there was like looks and shit. She was like, guys, like, look, this is Paul, blah, 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 blah. He plays Cheche. He's not really like that. And I was like, oh, yeah, no. Yeah, that's just a thing. I had to explain to these people that I wasn't actually putting hands on her, that it was part of a show. So they booed. Yeah, they just were not happy about it. They were not happy about what happened. It was more than a little awkward, but it ended fine. I shook hands with everybody, and they were fine with it. They just, these were like, she was a college actress that her family had probably never seen her act before. And this was probably a family, judging from their reaction, that had never been exposed to live theater before. So they didn't know the context of what was going on. I could get it. I'm not saying that they're retards for not knowing it. If you go into it not having experienced that before, I could see how it could get your dander up to watch some creepy dude putting his hands all over your little cousin, daughter, brother, sister, whatever the fuck. Was she hot? She was really cute. She was, in actuality, like 20 or 21, petite Hispanic girl. She was a really good actress too. She went on to do a lot of shows at the college. I'd see her name in all the playbills and shit. She was really talented. Everybody on that show was pretty talented. They brought in an equity actor, two actually, older people, because the script called for a couple of older people, so they actually paid a couple of equity actors. That's what I wanted to do for a while. I wanted to try and have a career in equity acting, where I would kind of travel around and do live shows, on a per show basis and get paid for that. It's not the easiest thing to do. It's not the easiest gig to break into, especially when bills are due. And never happened for me, but would have been kind of a cool idea. I certainly would have gotten a lot of joy out of that type of a life. Do I remember any of my lines from that show? I remember there was this, I had a big blow up, and it starts with this really quiet monologue about, it's been so many years since I did that show. My memory has probably fired most of that show out of my brain to make room for new shit. I remember one of the lines was, I hate it and I hate him, because that was the big yell line. It always made the audience go, ugh. Because I would slam my hand down on this thing. I got to die at the end of that movie too, via suicide, right after killing somebody. That was kind of a cool way to go out. It was I think it was probably the first time I'd played the villain as a rotund, jolly guy. Jolly looking, I guess. I got cast in a lot of comedic roles, which is fine. I like doing comedy. That was the first show that I was cast as kind of like a villain. And I liked it. I had a really cool, like, exit from that. I had to have I was the only dude in the show that was allowed to touch or handle the fake pistol. We had a fake pistol that was loaded with blanks. And at the end of the show, they positioned me in such a way that I'm like, you can see my outline, you can kind of make out who I am, and I'm kind of listening to this speech go on. This main character who, by the way, the girl that I wanted is in love with. And everything's wrapping up well, and he's telling them the story of Anna Karenina and all this shit. And I'm listening, and as I'm listening, I pull out a gun and I hold it up. No, they can't see me. I'm kind of around the corner, and I point the gun, and I fire off 2 rounds. Pop, pop. He goes down. Then, the whole audience, of course, is centered on me, and I put the gun to my head. The lights go out, and I point the gun up and do a final shot into the air, insinuating my suicide, which was pretty cool way to go out of the show. Mastodon sucks. Fuck you. You sour piece of shit. You come up in here to talk booty chatter about a good band. I like their latest album. It's a little poppier than their older stuff, and that's caused some rumblings in the fan community, but I liked it. Dude, I heard a lot of those songs live at the Paramount, and yeah, the lights went out. I said, it's high noon. Pop. People who think Mastodon is good don't know good metal. Ugh. You're a terrible troll, my friend. You should do some theater acting for DP On Demand or Patreon. I could find like some good standalone monologues. I've done those on my channel, here on this channel. If you go back, I think I've done monologues before. I think I did a monologue from Assassins. Touch your toes, Paul. Not with you in here. You can't be trusted, my friend. I cannot take this anymore. Saying all the things I said before. All my thoughts, they make no sense. I found bliss in ignorance. The less you mean, the more you say. Over and over again. Just like before. Everything you say to me. Man. The beginning of Edge, dude. The beginning of Edge. I cannot take this anymore. I have fewer subscribers than before. You wouldn't have to even change that, one of those lines. My videos, they make no sense. I found bliss in ignorance. You just keep that one, right? The more I say, the less I say. Over and over again. Just like my wife Dawn. Everything she says to me brings me one step closer to the slap. And I'm about to smack. Yep. Dude, the cops are coming. That one was so good. Yeah, dude. I'm a big fat ass man of tea. Got my wife cooking up the mac and cheese. Yep. Was Brett always an asshole, or was he cool at one point? I mean, I've answered this before, but I mean, he wasn't always, like, I guess he probably was always an asshole, but I didn't always perceive him as such. Because when he first came out, you know, he was I mean, kind of a trailblazer when it came to the YouTube atheist community that was starting to gain popularity, and within that little community, most people really liked him. So he had this kind of unanimous sense of acceptance for a brief time at the beginning of his YouTube career that he's never been able to get back. And when he had that, he was a nicer guy. I mean, it behooved him to be nice. But when the cracks started to show and the real Brett Keane started to rear his head, then he never got that back, and he's never been the same since. He's always been a duplicitous weasel, you know? Super duplicitous. Just like before. Beat my wife down. What a long stream. I took a nap. That was a short nap, dude. That was a shorter nap. But it is time for me to wrap this up. Got some work to do. Thank you guys for chilling. See you next time.